I decided that this game was my game of the year 6 months before I even played it. Is that fair? No, not at all. But seeing Unbeatable at the Steam Next Fest this summer was love at first sight. Look at it. This game has to be peak, right? One small issue though. I still can't play rhythm games. That's why 2 out of the 6 games I've played this year were music ones. I'm so smart and clever, right? But now I've beaten Unbeatable. So was I right? Is it the greatest thing since sliced bread? What's it about? The game itself says it the best. Unbeatable is a game where music is illegal and you do crimes. The game also says that that sentence is stupid and doesn't mean anything, which is also the point. Unbeatable is a game about nothing. And it's a game about everything. It's about losing others, and it's about losing yourself. There won't be any spoilers in this video, but I guess that's still too vague for a sales pitch, so a more concrete summary would be: you play as Beatable and team up with a 12-year-old to form a band and beat up both monsters and these white things along the way. The plot can be kinda confusing at times, it's one of those artsy ones. But I like that stuff. No, in fact I love it. My brain isn't used for much else anyway, so having to think for once is good. Now, due to the fact that I can't spoil anything, and for sure not just because I'm lazy, I can't do much else here except say, I like the story told, the writing is amazing, it has a good message that is delivered well, and well, yeah, it's great. My one teeny tiny problem with the writing is that it's very jumpy and could have used some more polish. Quite often there's a moment where you go from doing one thing to another without any real transition, which took me out of the experience. Sometimes it's for comedic effect, but the game didn't do enough to make it land. Something similar happens with the game's voice acting, because you can never tell what line will be voiced and which won't. It can change in the middle of a sentence. That could be a bug though, I don't know. Yada yada, I like character writing to an abnormal degree, so I gotta mention the characters. You know the drill if you've been around these parts before. Beat, the playable character most of the time. The lead singer in the band and a girl who's lost her way. She's pretty cool and badass. I related to way too much of her story, so I will be keeping my lips sealed. I'm not discussing that on here, sorry. Quaver, the world's smartest 12-year-old. In a normal story, she'd probably piss me off. I find most kid characters to be annoying, but Quaver's an exception. She feels real and not just a grating caricature someone with her design would usually be. Clef, the drummer that you beat the shit out of multiple times. She's kinda angry and mean, but she's nice in the end. I wish the game put a little more focus on her, but I guess it could have risked splitting the plot's attention too much. Maybe a side quest with her is what I would have wanted. Perhaps the side game's about that? Who knows, I don't have the time to figure that out. I need this video done now. Treble, Clef's twin, the sans to her papyrus. That's very accurate actually. I mean, he even speaks solely in lowercase and other similarities that I won't get into. I thought I'd like him the least going in, but he was chill. Still has the same issues as Clef, but it feels like we saw more of what makes him tick. Oh, they're all named like music. That's awesome. There's of course more characters than that. I won't talk about them, but I would just want to list their names because it's funny. There's Rest, Poco, Apoco, Crest, DC, Penillion, Svarsando, among others. That's all I wanted to say. Next section. Now we get to the part you actually care about. How does the game play? Well, you know how a rhythm game works. Try to hit the notes as best as you can and hit that high score. The game does always keep itself fresh by always presenting new ways to do this. The main music part, where you fight off the silence, is the most complex. From what my pea-brain can tell, it's most heavily inspired by I know this, but it's at the tip of my tongue. You probably know. Anyway, here you hit notes, whole notes, and beat the shit out of creatures of varying sizes. In the second gameplay mode, you punch stuff more vaguely shaped like humans, most commonly cops. It's pretty similar to the first one, just that the notes come vertically and there's slightly fewer note variations. Still the same 2 buttons though. All of them have the same control scheme, which is nice at least. Then there's a boatload of minigames. Baseball that pisses me off, jump rope, bartending, these things I don't know what to call, etka. They're all pretty neat. As I said earlier though, I suck at this, so I'm not really the right person to go in depth here. I thought it was great, but I'm also clueless and played on easy, or what the game calls normal. The fact that I love a genre I suck so badly at is an anomaly, but the game reassured me that this was fine. And the difficulty scaling at player is really good. The skill floor is very low and the ceiling is extremely high, so no matter how ass or goated you are, you can beat Unbeatable. Thankfully though, there's more to do than just play music. The world's pretty neat to explore, mostly due to the visuals, and while there technically aren't that many collectibles, it didn't feel like the game punished me for looking around either. Of course, there's still some stuff to do. You can recreate Quaver's parents' photos with her, which is pretty fun if you aren't a perfectionist like me. You also create a poster for your show in a similar way to those old COD badges, so I know people are gonna create some absurd stuff with it. Doesn't really matter though, since you kinda suck if you don't pick Quaver's poster in the end. The final real gameplay part to mention is the parkour, which could have been better. The game is 2.5D, as you can probably tell, and it doesn't allow for any camera movements besides shaking it around during cutscenes. This means that the platforming sections can be a bit annoying since you don't have any sense of depth. Not a big problem for me personally, I struggled significantly more with it in the demo, so I think they fixed something or I just got better. Who knows? Also, I have to mention it here, I did encounter some performance issues. I don't really know if it's the game's fault though. It could be that my GTX 970 8GB RAM Dream Team combo couldn't keep up with both this game and OBS running simultaneously, but there were some long load times, some segments were kinda choppy, and it did crash a few times. Assuming it wasn't my fault, it'll probably be cleaned up with a couple QA patches. It wasn't anything major, all things considered. There's a lot of meat on this game's bones. I mean, I haven't even mentioned the arcade mode. I haven't played it, but scrolling through the tracklist, I'd probably have decades of replay value in there alone. And it's just a matter of time before it's modded to accommodate every single song ever sung, so there's really no reason for you not to buy the game. Now, arguably the most important regard a music game can be measured by. Does it sound good? The game has a Jamie Page song, so yeah, of course it does. That not to your taste? How about Too Mellow and Lena Raine? There is something for everyone in here, I promise. Most songs were made by Peak Divide and they killed it. They mainly focus on an indie, punkish kind of sound, duh, and let's just say a couple tracks will be hitting my playlist at the earliest possible moment. There's also some electric and lo-fi songs mixed in there, and they're all good. How do you mix in a police siren in a track without making it obnoxious? I would highlight some favorites, but as you might suspect, they sound very copyrighted, and the full soundtrack hasn't been released yet, so sorry, the background tracks you've been hearing will have to do. But it's not just the music that's good, the sound design is also stunning. There were a couple times my brain said that the sound had to be coming from real life, since there was no way a game could do that. And these sections, yeah, basically just the game bragging about its audio. The voice acting is also phenomenal, stellar performances all around. Well, I guess some minor NPCs were a bit lacking and sounded more like YouTuber cameos than professional voice actors, but those don't matter. All the key players gave it their all and it's oh so good! Music's good, sound effects are good, acting's good, an auditory masterpiece if I do say so myself. Do I actually need to say anything in this segment? You've been staring at the game for a bit now. You see the visual wonders it bestows upon the player. What's that? I'm studying design? And I'm reviewing the game? Well shit, I guess I have to dissect it at least slightly. This is the single most beautiful game I've ever played, and probably will ever play. You most likely disagree, but it matches my own aesthetic perfectly. The pink and yellow lighting is exactly what I've been trying to do lately. The use of halftones is one of my go-to techniques. I kinda half-ass it, but still. The mixture of 2D and 3D elements is basically the exact art style I dreamed that I can pull off, though I suck at drawing and modeling too much to actually do it. And the character design. Ooh, baby, the character design. They're unique, they've got really recognizable silhouettes, and other keywords. UI-wise, it, alongside every other RPG from the last 10 years, takes a lot from Persona 5's playbook. The main menu, the dialogue boxes, and I mean technically the plot too if you've never played another game in your life. But I'm a YouTuber, so of course I adore P5's design. It's why I'm even studying this shit in the first place. Everything looks good, so I don't have much to say. My only two gripes in the visual departments are 1. Sometimes dialogue boxes cover each other and make the first one illegible. Good way to show someone speaking over someone else, but that's not every time. Sometimes the game just decides to stop you from reading. 2. This is a very minor nitpick, but I really dislike how limited the UX is in the collection menu. Usually, you try to give the user as many avenues as possible to complete the same goal and make them interchangeable. It makes everything feel smoother. But here, you're forced into an arbitrary way of doing things. Why can't I close the entire menu while an item's open? Again, really minor, but it was still a grievance. But like with most things in this video, I struggle putting it into words why I like this thing so much. But yet again, the game addresses this. Putting an idea into words fundamentally changes the idea. There are no perfect words to describe my admiration for Unbeatable, and I think that's fine. This video isn't some in-depth analysis, it's just me recommending you a pretty cool game. Was the game good? Yeah, it's my game of the year. Deltarune doesn't count, and sorry after love. It's genuinely so amazing, and I just scratched the surface of why that is here. But I need to get this video out as fast as possible, and I of course want you to experience it for yourself. It's a big fat awesome sauce out of 10 for me. Like and subscribe. I'm very close to 1000 subs, and I turn 20 in a couple days, so please give me this as a birthday present. Please. And follow me on Twitter too, thanks. Also, this would be the time my Patreon member list would scroll on the screen, but no one even checked it out after the last video. Go do that maybe. The Coke fund ran dry the other day. Okay, bye!